Aw, animals.
Rest in peace, Koko. Koko, the gorilla famed for her ability to communicate using American Sign Language and amazing friendships with pets, died in her sleep last week at age 46. Koko was a western lowland gorilla born at the San Francisco Zoo in 1971. She soon formed a close bond with Dr. Francine Penny Patterson. The following year, Dr. Patterson started teaching Koko sign language as part of a Stanford University project. Koko was said to have an IQ of between 75 and 95 and could understand 2,000 words of spoken English. The average IQ for humans is 100, with most people scoring somewhere between 85 and 115. Koko adopted several cats and used sign language to give them names. She even grieved for one of her kittens when it was killed in a car accident. Koko's love of animals turned into a children's book called Koko's Kitten and her own line of toys. Koko became the subject of many documentaries and was on the cover of National Geographic. Koko also met quite a few celebrities, from the late actor Robin Williams, Betty White, Leonardo DiCaprio, and her favorite celebrity, Fred Rogers. Koko captured the hearts of many and will be greatly missed. Keep watching for more animal stories.
Japanese women go bananas over hunky gorilla. A gorilla has stolen the hearts of women all over Japan. A western lowland gorilla named Shabani has got tons of women regularly flocking towards Higashiyama Zoo and Botanical Gardens in Nagoya. According to the Chunichi Shimbun, zoo officials said that the number of female visitors to the zoo has increased exponentially due to Shabani's popularity on Twitter, where women post pictures of the gorilla and say he is extremely handsome. Shabani was formerly from the Netherlands, grew up in Australia, then moved to Japan in 2007, where he has now earned the nickname Ikemen, which is Japanese for good-looking man. Don't agree? Well, look into that dark, brooding face. Look at his eyes, dark and piercing. Would you look at the guns on him? Step aside, Donkey Kong. Now we have Hunky Kong. And this one does not need to kidnap princesses. They go to him willingly. Unfortunately, you'd have to trek to Japan if you want to see Shabani. If you're already in Japan, visit the Higashiyama Zoo and Botanical Gardens and join the rest of the swooning girls.
Who's a clever boy then? This dog proved he's smarter than your average pooch when he broke out of his kennel earlier this week and wandered off into the night. The 10-year-old Great Pyrenees named General was lodging at an animal hospital in Stafford, Virginia, while his owners went to Virginia Beach on vacation. And as you can see from the footage, perhaps he wanted out so he could go join them. At around 4:15 a.m. on Monday, General busted out of his temporary accommodation, then opened at least 4 different doors in his heroic bid for freedom. He'd been staying at the animal hospital for the previous 2 nights, but clearly had had enough. Here we see the 124-pound dog making his way down a hallway, then sniffing around an office area. If General looks familiar with the surroundings, his owner said that's because the clever canine had been visiting the hospital for the past 10 months. Finally, General uses his mouth to open a door that leads him outside to a parking lot. Then off he went into the night. Around 3 hours later, hospital staff discovered General was missing and called his owners. The search for the dog went on for most of Monday. He was eventually found at 9 p.m., around 17 hours after he went missing in action. General was sitting in the garden of a nearby home, happy to be in the great outdoors and out of his cage. The dog's owners cut short their vacation to search for the beloved pet, and they were eventually reunited. So who's a clever boy then?
Drama in the animal kingdom. Upon returning home from being hospitalized for 3 months, a female hawk was left heartbroken when she found her man had shacked up with another bird. Christo and Dora are 2 red-tailed hawks who had been living in Thompson Square Park. Together, they have 10 kids. What's special about these hawks then? Since 2010, the population of red-tailed hawks has risen around the Big Apple, possibly due to the location of the food source. Like rats, pigeons have increased around the city. 3 months ago, while Dora was away for an injury, a hawk named Nora showed up and began flapping her feathers at Christo. Scandalous. They even spent time at the nest that was created by Christo and Dora. The drama hit a climax when Dora came back on Monday as the 3 birds met beak to beak while screaming at each other. Lately, Christo was spotted visiting Dora every morning by bringing her food and helping her to build her new nest. Then, in the afternoon, he stays with Nora to mate. A wildlife rehabilitator who nursed Dora said red-tailed hawks normally stick together forever, but in the Big Apple, hawks find a new mate within a day if one of them dies. Also, a shared relationship is rare, but possible.
Bad dog, bad dog. Finn, a mixed breed, was walking off the leash on a trail with his human Reed Thompson and Thompson's girlfriend in Ontario, Canada on Sunday. Finn usually stays close by, but that day he caught a whiff of deer and went into hound mode, ignoring commands to return. Thompson told Fox News Finn chased Bambi along a road through a hospital and back onto another road. He said the two animals tangled for a bit before scaling a guardrail and coming to some ice. But while Rudolph got away, Finn was put in the doghouse after being nabbed by Canada's finest. This photo went viral on Twitter, spawning #FreeFinn and dog versus deer memes galore. Reportedly, the pup was later released, but his owners received a very un-Canadian talking to about animal control and keeping dogs on the leash. Finn, meanwhile, seems to be doing fine. No word on the deer, though. Maybe next time, buddy.
Ooh, that escalated quickly. Hundreds of sheep plunged to their death in the Pyrenees on the French-Spanish border after being chased by one naughty brown bear. After the native Pyrenean brown bears were wiped out by hunters, the French government began to repopulate the species in 1996 with brown bears brought in from Slovenia. A descendant of one of these brown bears became the furry predator that launched an attack on one member of a flock of sheep, which scared the fleas off of some 200 others, causing all of them to hurtle over a 650-foot-high cliff and, die. 169 sheep were discovered in a Spanish village, while some more were found on the French side of the border. Bear fur was discovered on one of the sheep's bodies, strong evidence that a bear most likely prompted the mass accidental suicide. This comes almost exactly a year after more than 130 other sheep died in similar fashion. Although the French government will reimburse the farmer for his loss, the incident has upset farmers on both sides of the border who blame the bears for the attacks. A local branch of the French Farmers Federation is upset as well, as sheep breeders have protested the presence of bears and wolves in the past, which they say threaten their livestock. Currently, there's about 35 brown bears that exist in the Pyrenees. Although protected in the region, a bear was found with a gunshot wound to the chest in northern Spain last year.